Hello everyone. Welcome to Islands Christian Church Online. Thank you for being with us on this last Sunday in May. Please be sure to like Islands Facebook page, and we hope that you'll subscribe so that you can keep informed about the events we have going on throughout this week. These events include Kids Momentum on Wednesdays and Communion on Thursdays, either through Facebook or on YouTube.
We miss seeing all your faces in person at church, but we're also glad that we can stay connected in Christ virtually.
And I'm sorry when I've come with my agenda. I'm sorry when I think you're not enough, and take me back to where we started. I open up my heart to you. I'm caught up in your presence. I just wanna sit here at your feet. I'm caught up in this holy moment. I never wanna leave. And I'm not here for blessings. Jesus, you don't owe me anything more than anything that you can do. I just want you, and I just want you, and nothing else, and nothing else, and nothing else would do. And I just want you, and nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. And I just want you, nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. I just want you, nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. And I just want you, nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. And I just want you, nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. Caught up in your presence, and I just wanna sit here at your feet. Caught up in this holy moment, I never wanna leave. And I'm not here for blessings. Jesus, you don't owe me anything more than anything that you can do. I just want you. And more than anything that you can do, I just want you.
Even though we can't meet in person, Island still has many incredible things going on, all of which continue to be funded by your generosity.
Islands has 3 easy ways to give. You can text ICC Give to 77977. You can also go to our website at islandschristian.org/giving, or you can mail your offering to 4601 US Highway 80, Savannah, Georgia 31410.
If you or anyone you know needs assistance or help, please email the care team at care@islandschristian.org. Someone from the care team will contact you.
I heard a story one time about a Christian leader that was at a restaurant eating, and he was talking with his server. And I don't know if the story's true or not, but it's a good story. And the server and him got to talking about their faith and their background and what they believed. And the server explained to the man that he was a non-practicing Buddhist, I think it was. And the man sitting at the table, he was a Christian. And he said, that's really interesting. I can't really relate with that because there's no such thing as a non-practicing Christian. It doesn't exist. The fact that you are a Christian means that you are practicing. That's the nature of being a Christian. And I think a lot of times we have questions about what it means to be a Christian. Maybe you're watching this right now and you're not really sure what it means to be a Christian, or maybe you have ideas about what it means to be a Christian. And what we want to do over the next 2 weeks is just talk about that. What does it look like to be a Christian? What does it mean to be a Christian? Oftentimes we think of Christianity as just a set of beliefs that certain people have, but that's not how Jesus talked about being a Christian. And we're going to look at the words of Jesus as we have this conversation about what it looks like to be a Christian. Now, what we believe about being a Christian is it does all start in the heart. It all starts kind of in our inside, kind of what we come to believe. We meet the living Jesus, but it doesn't stay there. It doesn't just stay in this kind of like place inside of us and doesn't, go anywhere else. No, we believe that it changes us from the inside out, and it affects our behavior, and it affects the way we live our lives. And specifically, what it does is it causes us to see Jesus as our highest value. So what happens is when you become a Christian, you say, "Hey, I believe that Jesus is the Son of God," and you believe that inside. But then your behaviors and your practices begin to live out differently because you see Jesus and his leadership as the highest value in your life. Nothing else matters to you. You are fully and completely devoted to him. He's at the top. And this is how Jesus described following him. This is the way he talked about it in very extreme language, right? It's a little jarring, the language that he uses. And he does it on purpose, right? He's trying to get his first listeners, he's trying to get their attention, and he's trying to get our attention as well. He calls us to live these lives of total reckless abandonment to him. And he knows that's going to create a little division, right? It's going to create some division between the people that you love and the people that you know. And it's also going to create division even inside yourself. So let's look at this passage. This is in Matthew chapter 10, verses 34 through 39. And this is what Jesus says. He said, "Do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies will be the members of his own household. Anyone who loves their father or mother more than me is not worthy of me." Did you hear that? Anyone who loves their father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And as if that weren't hard enough, he says this: anyone who loves their son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever does not take up their cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds their life will lose it, and whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. Now, let's just stop here for a moment. This is hard stuff, and I intend to say some hard stuff to you today, both to those of you who are Christians and to those of you who are interested in Christianity and trying to figure it out. You're going to hear me say some hard stuff about what it looks like to be a Christian. And whenever we used to meet in the room for church services, you would hear me say hard stuff, and I'd be standing on stage, and it might be uncomfortable for you, but you really never got up and left, did you? A couple reasons. Number one, it'd be kind of rude just to get up and leave. But secondly, if you got up and left, everybody'd be like, well, I guess he can't handle the hard stuff. And so you just sat there the whole time. But you know what you can do with online church? You just click away. You're done. You're finished. You're like, I don't want to hear this. This is weird. I don't like this. This doesn't match what I think being a Christian is. And I'm going to dare you to not click away. I'm just dare you to stay. Just like, let me say some hard stuff to you. And if you hear some stuff and you go, I don't like this. This is hard. This is weird. I'm not sure I agree with this. Can we talk? We send us a DM, send us an email, just have some conversation, because clicking away is not going to solve anything for you. I mean, the fact of the matter is that Jesus does say some hard things. And if we're going to teach through the scriptures and we're going to talk about the scriptures, we're going to say some hard things. And right here, he's saying very clearly that for people who claim to follow Jesus, if you claim that Jesus is, your Savior, and you claim you're a Christian, Jesus says that he must be our highest devotion. He is it for us. He's above our parents. He's above our children. He is even above our own selves. That's the even harder part of this, because Jesus says that not only do we need to love him more than we do our parents or our children, but he says, hey, you need to value me even more than your own life. So it's like, hey, if you're going to follow me, if you're going to be a Christian, that means you're willing to give up your life for me. And even some of the earliest followers of Jesus, the guys who hung out with him in the very beginning, they had a hard time with that. So if that kind of goes, I don't know, man, you're in a good company. You're in company with people like Peter and other apostles in the Bible. They had a hard time with that as well, because this is a significant demand on people. But this is what Jesus says. It is what he claims. Now, in a world that we live in, our society, the majority of people, I think, believe that this life is all you get. That this is it, right? There's nothing else after this. So you better, have all the fun you can have, do all you can do, because this is all you're going to live. But as Christians, we don't believe that. Christians believe that this life is just the beginning, that we have a life coming after this. And I think that when people are Christians, what does it look like to be a Christian? When people are Christians, they look different than those people who are living like this is all you're going to get. This is the only life you're ever going to get. We are a stark contrast, a division, if you will. While the whole world might be competing for the resources of this world before the sun goes out for good, Christians aren't doing that. They're trying to figure out how to be generous with resources, right? They're going countercultural over and over and over again because of their devotion to Jesus. There's a stark contrast. Whereas the world might be trying to get bigger and better and newer, Christians aren't doing that. There's a different set of values for them. Whereas the majority of people might be saying, hey, whatever I want is what matters. I don't want my life disturbed. I don't want things getting messed up for me. Christians are saying, hey, what is God doing right now? And what is he trying to do with my life right now? And how can I be used by him in the middle of this right now? In other words, Christians are always looking for a way to say, Jesus, what are you trying to do with me? Where are you trying to lead me? What are you trying to accomplish through my life? Yeah, I don't like what's happening. No, I'm not a big fan of maybe things being shut down and the world being turned upside down. But I'm not losing my mind over the fact that it's not fun. Instead, I'm saying, Jesus, what are you doing? How can I be in the middle of your story? That's what it looks like to be a Christian. And you see, Jesus doesn't give us the option. This is what's crazy. And this may be the hard thing for you to hear is, like, he doesn't give us the option to say, well, you can kind of believe this life is all there is. You can kind of live like this life is all there is, but you can also believe in me and say you follow me and love me and trust. You can have it both. He doesn't give us that option. It's like if we went out kayaking and I threw 2 kayaks in the water and I said, hey man, stand in those 2 kayaks and paddle down the river. It'd be tough. I mean, there might be a super athlete who possibly could do it. But for most of us, I mean, me especially, if I had to stand in 2 kayaks, I'm not getting anywhere but in my face and hopefully not get hurt bad when I fall. Like, you can't do it. You can't have a divided stance. And this is what Jesus is calling on our lives. He doesn't leave any room for some type of religious, moral ethic, that we have where we go, well, I know kind of what a good person is, and I know what good people are. You know how we say that, right? They're good people. I know what a good person is. I know what good people are, and I'm just gonna, I'm gonna make sure I'm a good person. And we definitely check those boxes. I mean, don't you feel like you're a pretty good person? I mean, nobody says I'm not a good person, so I know you're sitting there thinking you're a good person. We kind of check those boxes and we go, I'm a pretty good person. And we think that if we feel like a good person, then we're a good Christian. Jesus doesn't care that you feel like a good person. I know that's crazy. Because so much of our idea of Christianity and faith is defined by the way I feel about how I'm doing. He just doesn't. He doesn't care that you took some stuff to Goodwill. He doesn't care. He just doesn't care about how you feel about being a good person. What he cares about, that you are ruthlessly and completely, totally surrendered to him as the leader of your life. In complete abandonment to him, that he is the highest value. That's what being a Christian looks like. Now look again at verse 38. Whoever does not take up their cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Now, if you're kind of new to the Bible or new to Christianity, when Jesus said these words, this was crazy because the cross was an instrument of execution. It was a horrible, horrific way to die. This saying alone would have created tons of confusion for the people standing around there that day. But Jesus knew what was coming. He knew that soon he would be taking up his cross and that he would be surrendering his life completely to what God, his Father, wanted. And what Jesus is saying in this statement is that if that's what our leader has done, gave his life over completely, then the same demand is on us, totally and completely, to the point of even placing Jesus and what he wants above our families, above our children, above even what I want for my own life. See, taking up your cross means I no longer am in charge of my life. I've given it away. Now, can't you see how that could create some division? I mean, like, think about it for a second. If you get really serious about your faith with Jesus, like you're really sold out for Jesus, without fail, I promise you, you're going to have friends who say they're Christians, who maybe even go to church with you, who are going to say something like this. Hey, man, I love Jesus and all, but you're letting this Jesus thing get carried away. You're going to have friends tell you that. If you kind of get to that place of like total abandonment to Jesus leading your life, you're going to have people say, I think this Christianity thing's getting a little out of hand for you, dude. Like, that's going to happen. You're going to have division. I mean, even your parents might say something like that to you. Like, hey, listen, I know going to church is important, but like, I feel like maybe you're spending way too much time helping that church serve the community. Don't you want to have a life too? That division happens. And that division happens inside of our own hearts. Like, we experience division inside of us. And we have to constantly say to ourselves, I am listening for Jesus to lead me. Because if we don't constantly ask his voice to lead us, if we don't constantly say, hey, Jesus, what are you saying to me? What are you doing in my life right now? What's going to happen is we're going to default back to being our own leader, being in charge of our own life. I saw this post this week, and actually Jake sent it to me. It's really good. It's by Christine Caine, and I think it captures well like that struggle, right? That division we have inside of us, because we're going to have these times where we're like, I just want to do what I want to do, and we don't really want to go to Jesus and ask him and get his perspective. And it takes effort. So listen to this. Christine Caine said this on Instagram. I don't want to go anywhere he isn't leading. I don't want to do anything he hasn't ordained. I don't want to chase things or people he hasn't purposed to be in my life. If God is in it, I'm in it. And if he's not, I'm not. I think this post captures so well the battle that we're in when we're feeling divided. Because we can so naturally go back into just leading our own lives and being in charge of our own lives. And it takes that constant asking, that constant work to know if God is in this or not. Now, I gotta be just really honest with you, because if you're watching this video right now, and I've been talking all about this high demand that Jesus puts on us when we become a Christian and what it means to be a Christian, you may be watching this going, I don't think I can be a Christian. Like, I'm not sure I can do that even. But I promise you that you can. Every single one of us can follow Jesus with this kind of ruthless abandonment that we've been talking about. This idea of just giving him our entire lives. I don't know if you know this, but Jake Power, who's our worship leader and also an executive director here at our church, helps us keep moving forward, just does a lot of great, amazing things in the way of leadership for us here at Islands. He started running a few months back. He started running. And at first, he would run just like from his driveway to the end of the street, and then he got to a 1/10 or 2/10 of a mile, and then he got to a mile. And I remember we all kind of celebrated, hey, you ran a mile, and he's running with a friend. This week, Jake crossed 5 miles running. And I know for some of you, that's like, that's not a big deal. I run 22 miles. But I'm telling you, that is a big deal for someone who wasn't a runner to become someone who can go out and run 5 miles. But he didn't go out and run 5 miles the first day. It was incremental steps, a little at a time. And that's exactly what it's like following Jesus. You learn how to listen for his voice. You spend more time in Scripture reading what he says. You spend more time praying and listening for him and talking to him. You spend more time just thinking about him. It's really important that you just think about Jesus. As you spend time doing that, what happens is incrementally Jesus is taking more ground in your heart. He's taken over more ground in your heart and more ground in your mind, and it's becoming more aligned with who he is. And yes, it's slow, and yes, it's incremental, but I'm telling you, every single one of us, as we come closer to Jesus, we're going to notice his grace and his kindness and his goodness, and it's going to give us more willingness to surrender to him. But anything that takes practice can be practical, right? Like it's very practical. Like, what does it mean to make Jesus the leader of my life? What does it mean to get into a place where I actually follow after him? He's in front. Well, that means that I don't speak unless he leads me to speak. So I'm just careful with my words. And I listen for his voice and his direction on speaking. I don't act in a situation or at work, or I don't get involved unless Jesus has given me permission to act. He's called me to act. I'm following after him. I don't avoid acting when it feels uncomfortable if Jesus has led me to act. We don't purchase things unless he says we can. Whoa, right? That practical? Yes, that practical. We don't confront anyone unless he says it's okay and when he says it's okay. We don't talk about anyone in a negative way because he's never given us permission to do that and never will. We stop before we respond in anger to our teenage child or our grown child or our parents or our aging parents. Like we pause and we think and we listen to Jesus for how we should respond. We follow him. Now here's a big one. It's super practical. Before we click the post or share button on our social media account like Facebook, before we share that or post that, we get permission from Jesus. What does it look like to be a Christian? Every detail of our lives. Every detail of our lives is covered up with his leadership and his presence. That's what it looks like to be a Christian. Now, when we get together next time, I'm going to talk a little with you about why this is so hard, why it's so difficult, why we can do pretty good for a while and then kind of fall back into being in charge of our own lives for a while. So that's the first thing we're going to talk about next time. The second thing we're going to talk about next time is why this even matters. I mean, why does Jesus even want us to make him the highest value in our lives? Why is he even saying, hey, make me most important? I mean, is Jesus that desperate for affection? Is he that desperate for followers? Absolutely not. Jesus is not in need. He doesn't need you. He doesn't need me. He is sufficient in and of himself completely and totally. Jesus is inviting you to make him your highest value because he knows that's exactly what you need to live. And I can't wait to talk to you more about that when we get together next time.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. And don't forget, just as Stephen requested, if you have any questions about anything in today's message or want to know more about becoming a Christian, message Islands Christian Church directly.
We'd love to hear from you, and please don't forget to like and share today's message. You never know who it might help. We miss seeing you all in person and hope to see you all online next Sunday.